Obviously, just another really good baseball game, to be honest with you. Thought we did some really good things. I thought Zane Adams was outstanding, pitching into the sixth, give us a chance. And I thought Mosa came in that first inning, did exactly what he needed to do. Zane Probst did a really good job coming in and giving us a chance there at the end. 2 innings, 1 hit, 3 punches. Man, we'll take that. I thought those guys did a great job. And then I thought offensively, we did some good things. We just didn't finish, and some of that's a credit to the stuff on the mound. That's what makes Luke Holman, is he does a good job of minimizing innings. He was pretty bad there in the first, but he's able to execute enough to keep it at 1, and you look up and down. We talk about, alpha ABs is what we call them, but runners in scoring position with 2 outs, and 2-out hits are never easy. 2-out hits are tough, especially against those arms, but we were 1 for 5 in those situations, and I thought there was 2 or 3 moments throughout the game. I thought all in all, we did some really good things. They did some really good things. But there was 3 or 4 moments they just beat us. We get the double play ball we want. Credit their guy for busting his tail down the line. We only get 1. We turn a double play. It's a tie game coming off the field in the 6th. But we aren't able to turn it. Mose settles in and gets the next one. But gets what it's done. They just bested us a little bit right there. We have some situations with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. They were just able to execute pitches and get us off the barrel. I thought, we really worked counts. I thought against Luke, we really did a pretty good job of taking pitches. I think he punched out 2 or 3. He didn't punch out very many guys. We did a good job of working him and getting to some good counts, but we also just had some bad at-bats there in the middle. I think it was the 3rd. We just had some really weak outs, and it lets him settle in a little bit and pitch 1 more inning deeper. So, credit their arms for minimizing that. We left 12 guys on, and just the rules of the game will tell you it ain't easy, especially against those arms. But to win the game and to win the series, man, winning the series against a team like that ain't easy either. And so bottom line is they bested us in 2 or 3 opportunities, and it's 1-1 going into tomorrow with Ben Hess on the mound. So I think we'd all take that coming into the weekend.
Yeah, Coach. Luke Holman, obviously a guy that a lot of people know here well, former Alabama player. How do you kind of prepare? Do you prepare differently at all for a guy like that who knows the field very well, knows kind of how the players go at the plate and field well? Is there a different approach to kind of getting ready for maybe a former player?
Yeah, more than anything, just trying to make sure we're not making it bigger than it is. It's just another arm rolling into town. And fortunately for us, there's so many new faces here, and so and Luke's doing some things a little bit different. He's throwing the slider a lot more this year, and I didn't watch Luke a lot last year, but Mac tells me, more curveball than slider last year, and he's throwing the slider more. The fastballs are really good, man, and what makes Luke Holman good is just his ability to minimize and his ability to take what a lot of arms turn into 4 or 5 run innings and turn them into a 1-run inning. That's what makes Luke good. And so I don't think necessarily, just especially with the turnover, the preparation's any different outside of just, obviously, our guys want to beat him. There's no secret about that. But not letting it be bigger than it is. Not letting it try to be. And I thought we did a good job emotionally, not making it bigger. And he's good. And we locked horns with him and competed. And we got him out of the game in a 1-run game. And I think that's all you can ask for right there. And like I said, they just executed a tick better than we did kind of the 5th, 6th on.
Yeah, and the offense as a whole only had 4 total strikeouts against a pitcher that's actually usually has a lot of strikeouts in a game. How have you seen this offense kind of grow so far this season to kind of get to that point where they're not striking out as much?
Yeah, I think it tells you their playing's good. They did a good job doing that. Now, the other side of that is we also, I thought, had some weak early outs. Like I said, in the 3rd, I think we go, weak ground ball, lazy fly ball, and I think he threw 4 or 5 pitches in the 3rd inning. And so sometimes you'd almost rather the strikeout be up a tick and work him a tick more. But as a whole, man, these guys compete their tails off with 2 strikes. They do a good job, and it's kind of been us. Hagen Smith punched out everybody. We didn't punch a ton off him. Luke Holman punches out everybody. We didn't punch a ton off him. So this group does a really good job of competing with 2 strikes. We just, again, I thought, and this was very few times. I thought the 3rd inning was the only time we really gave some at-bats away. But we got some good counts. We had a couple counts where, like Ian's last at bat, he gets in a 3-1 count and just gets beat by a fastball above the zone. We had too many of those today. I thought we had 4 or 5 of those where we got to the counts we wanted to be in and kind of uncharacteristically left the zone, which sometimes speaks to trying to do a little bit too much. But all in all, like I said, that's also a credit to those arms. Those are really good arms that run out at us.
Coach, your team had a lot of opportunities with runners on base today. What do you want to see from their approach when runners are on versus when it's just them?
Yeah, I think what we look for there is just not changing anything, still keeping your plan together, still getting the ball in the damage zone and being on time. And the hard thing is when you have some arms like they threw. You had Holman, Ackenhausen's been great, Guidry's good. those guys do a really good job of, and you saw it yesterday with Little, you saw it yesterday with their guy threw at the end. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, but they just do a really good job, man. You get to that advantage count, and they still have the ability to land the slider in an advantage count. This is not you get to a 2-0, 3-0 count, you're getting heater. I mean, these guys do a really good job of using the secondary stuff well, and when you do that, a little bit of doubt starts to creep in the hitter's mind, and they get a little bit more in between. And I thought we just got in between a few times. Like, we're going to leave the zone at times. It's going to happen. But if we're going to leave it, let's leave it with some conviction, right? And I thought we kind of left it and broke it down a few times. So that's what I really like to see. Have a plan and go execute your plan. If your plan's wrong, we'll adjust the next at bat. But I think today they got us in between on some pitches in big spots, and that's where we weren't able to quite cash in.
Coach, another good start for Zane Adams today. Kept the offense in the game. They've thrown the kitchen sink at this kid his freshman year. What do you like what you've seen out of him against some of the toughest lineups in the country week in and week out?
Just a steady heartbeat, man. That guy's got a slow heartbeat. He doesn't try to do too much. You can't tell if he just punched out 10 or if he just gave up 10. It's the same guy every day. And for a young pup, that's incredibly mature, and I think it's in the same vein, that's what Luke Holman does well. I think that's what Zane Adams does really well. He's done a really good job throughout this year. He's been in some messes at times, and he might give up a run or two, but he does a great job of managing his innings. And he might give him one, he might give him two, but it's very rarely 3, 4, 5. And that speaks to the mentality. He doesn't go into panic mode. He doesn't try to do too much. He just knows if I go out and execute my pitches, they may get a hit there, they may hit a homer here. They might do something, but if he executes his stuff, that he can control those innings. And that's what he does such a great job of. And man, there's a reason he's pitching on Saturday. I love that Saturday game because you're looking at it, you either get beat on Friday night and you're sending a guy like Zaner to try to even up the series, or you win like we did last night and you're sending Zane with a chance to win the series and you like your odds. I thought he did exactly what we wanted him to do today. I mean, I think he gives up. I think he got that third run kind of tagged to him, but man, you told me he was going to give up 3 runs and 6. I'd have taken that in a heartbeat. We just weren't able to quite do enough offensively to push it over the edge.
Yeah, Coach, today, Senior Day, honoring all the seniors. I know we've talked about them a lot individually throughout the season, but as a whole, what have these seniors just kind of meant both on the field and off the field to this team?
I mean, they're the leaders of this group, I mean, the best teams I've ever coached are very player-led teams. It's one thing, and when you have a coach doing this, I think it's our job to kind of set the vision, create the environment in the fall, and set all that stuff. And then once we get to this point of the season, you toss those older guys the keys and say, hey, it's yours, let's go run with it and take us for a ride. And I think this group's done an unbelievable job at doing that. And, I talked about it a little bit last night. We came in and there's a few seniors that were here that decided to stick around that probably could have either hung it up or gone elsewhere, and they gave us an opportunity. Then you have a guy like Evan Slide who believed in us, had 1 year left and said, man, this is where I want to be and spend my last year. That senior class is really special. Cam Guangareno, what an unbelievable kid. He's actually going to stick around and help us out next year as well as he's finishing his grad degree. Matt Gassetti, I remember JJ and I sitting in the meeting room talking to Mac during the draft, and that guy had plenty of opportunities. There's plenty of teams that wanted to sign him, and he held firm to what he wanted, and if he didn't, he was happy to come back. And Matt Gassetti coming back, you've seen him grow throughout the year. Had a good start, then a really tough about 3 weeks, offensively at least. But even in that stretch, he kept leading the pitching staff. He called a great game. He did an unbelievable job with that stuff. And then in the same vein, has kind of turned the corner, I kind of think, since Kentucky and been one of our really stout offensive players. So all in all, guys like them, man, it's you appreciate them, I think. And the longer you do this, the more you appreciate those guys and the way they go about their business. So we're not where we are without that group of seniors, either the ones that came in or the ones that believed in what we were doing and decided to give it a chance. So, regardless of what happens down the stretch, I hope we keep playing good baseball and get to play, knock down the door to Omaha. But we're gonna do that at some point. It's coming. There's no doubt. And this group of seniors is gonna be the first one to pave the way for that, and that's something for them to be extremely proud of.
Anything else? All right.
Thanks, guys. Roll Tide.